카테고리의 채널들이 얼마나 성장을 잘 만들고 있느냐가 내 채널이 성장할 수 있는 기회가 있느냐 없느냐랑 똑같은 거예요. 당연히 레드오션을 할수록 더 좋아요.
와.
네.
session. Um, Today, I would like to have an opportunity to exchange opinions more freely with you on various topics from yesterday's discussion. In this June meeting room, not only experts representing each country, but also many audiences who are interested in strategic HLD are participating together. Um, Among the many topics discussed yesterday, I have selected a few that have been highlighted in common. And I would like to take the opportunity to share your experience and insights on these topics. In this June meeting room, if you would like to lead the discussion on each topic at any time, please do not hesitate to turn on your microphone and speak. That's all you got to do. And if any of you have any questions or other opinions, please ask through the chat window. Let me ask the expert a question for you. To share your experience and insights on these topics. Let's go through the discussion topic. If you would like to lead the discussion, the first topic I will discuss with you is how to ensure the learning effects and maintaining the learning tension for the trainees and online education. Well, this topic is thought to be closely related to the development of teaching technology or instructional technology and its introduction, and the content that guarantee the effectiveness of education expressed in pedagogy. Well, my question is this. How can we achieve these two goals at the same time? Well, technology and successful, pedagogical education. I'm curious about your thought. So, just lead the discussion, any of you. It'll be really fun. I mean, couple of the discussion presenters from yesterday brought these issues. Well, everybody's emphasizing the evolution and evolvement of the instructional technology, virtual reality, metaverse and everything. But while maintaining those kind of bells and whistles of instructional technology, how can you maximize the effect of education itself? It'll be really fun. So, oh, anybody, in the discussion room, please turn on your video. Everybody's emphasizing the evolution so that I can see your, presence. Virtual reality, okay. Any thoughts? Everything on this issue. I mean, this is the hot potato in the pandemic era because everybody is emphasizing the remote work and online education, but it seems that they're not so sure about the effectiveness of the online education yet. So please share your thought or experience or insight freely, please. Okay. Any thoughts? Okay. Mexico, you're wrong. This is the hot potato
Thanks for
in the
this interesting
era
opportunity
because
to share points of view
everybody
about that.
is emphasizing
Uh,
the remote work and
I think
online education.
in
But
the first row we
it
need to
seems that
emphasize
they're
that
not so
the
sure
technology
about the
was
effectiveness of the
or
online
represented the
education
solution
yet. Yes. So please share your
in these hard
thought
times.
or
That's
experience
true.
or insight
But
freely,
there are
please.
costs in this solution, in the interaction,
You're wrong.
in the loneliness, where a process developed to be shared in presential ways,
Yes.
to be done by the part of by the teacher part and also by the students part
Yes.
lonely, and it implies a lot of new um, goals
Yes.
to attach in the case of the teacher to maintain the attention of the students
Right.
and to try to get focused on the main points in a different way that it could be done in a presential teaching process. And in the case of the students, that they need to adapt themselves to a very hard and schedules where we don't have enough time to try um, to to get insights into the knowledge, because there are the fastness of technological education is not comparable with a physical education, and it's also a big challenge for students. This and
Recording
finally,
in progress.
I think that one problem, and this is a problem as a society, is that we lost the social interaction,
Right, right.
and it I don't know how it has impacts.
Yeah.
I think not good impacts in the way in that the
Recording
knowledge
in progress.
Yeah.
is shared in knowledge theory conception. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, from your, from my understanding about your, idea, do you think to ensure or guarantee or maintaining the, educational concentration or educational attention, do you think it's more up to the teacher itself, or is there any way to help the teachers or students, I mean, in terms of technology, to, compensate or replace the physical contact of the people? How do we actually utilize those technologies to maximize the their interaction in educational process? I mean, I know it is a very hard question, and it is a very key factor of successful online education, right? So yeah, let me hear from the audience or any other expert. Mr. Ziajin, are you there? The physical contact of the people. How do we actually? Yes, you're there. Okay, good.
Hi.
Any idea on this topic? To maximize the their
As I know,
interaction
I
in
want to talk
educational
about the
process.
challenges
Yes.
online education.
Yes.
Because in China, we have a lot of kinds of education style.
Yeah.
And before the COVID-19,
Uh-huh.
the online education
Uh-huh.
is I think is the most lowest reputation education style.
Right,
And
right.
I want to, according to your question,
Uh-huh.
I want to address some point on the interaction style.
Sure.
According to my teaching experience, online education is difficult to interact with trainees,
Right.
such as case teaching. It's difficult to do a good case teaching
Right.
in the online style. So, because the teaching style innovation is important for us
Right.
for human resource development.
Right.
But on the COVID-19 era, it is difficult to do the teaching innovation, such as case teaching, such as seminar teaching, such as group teaching.
Right.
This kind of thing is difficult. So according to our experience, actually, the online teaching quality is lower than offline teaching.
So that's the general belief that China, has, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you say? Yeah, I have a raised hand from the Kazakhstan. Okay, please speak up. Turn on your microphone and yeah, shoot it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. And I have some thoughts about the interesting question, which between pedagogy, as we always taught our students in classes and etc. And offline and using now by Zoom or other platforms, IT technologies and etc. I think that maybe IT technology, the digital things that help to us maybe teach students, but also this is difficult only using IT technology and without any communication, offline communication. But I think here we need to understand the different country, different problems and different infrastructure. And also this is the reality of each country. If we have, for example, some least developed country or maybe developed country or others country, you know, Western country or etc. We just can see a difference because the universities or academies, they always just developed IT infrastructure, etc. But maybe least developed country, they have some problem and lack of infrastructure. And also the people, maybe lack of the teachers who can teach by the using this is digital others. And for example, in the case of the Kazakhstan, you know, the Kazakhstan is the big country. And I worked in Academy of Public Administration in Kazakhstan during the 18 years. The development and the, you know, they were used always the very modern maybe technologies and all. But then I last my 3 years, I just worked in the region level in university. And this is completely different because, you know, this is, you can compare because people, their culture, we have no any culture, digital culture. And using IT, this is lack of, you know, and also the pandemic situation put us, if before we know, maybe very well known with the IT technology and push us to teach by the IT technology. It was very difficult to our teachers, academic staff and to teach, and it was using the pedagogy. And we started to maybe have some training for the stream platform. Maybe divided people who very well known with this and this is, you know, a lot of problems like this, but at the same time I think the impact of this pandemic situation, the biggest maybe impact of the, we are just lost a lot of knowledge because by the IT technology we couldn't, you know, deliver all the, you know, knowledge which, and this is, I mean, difficult to students and to academic staff. And I think this is also, I mean, we need to maybe also develop our culture, IT digital culture among people and students and academicians, and maybe create some good infrastructure and development, some technology, pedagogical technology, like stream platform, how we can use it, and etc. Like this.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, it's a really complicated thing because, well, it's a pretty compulsory change. I have been teaching online for more than 2 years so far, but the interesting thing is there is a certain chemistry in that classroom, just like the on-site education. Well, we're not, breathing the same air in the same classroom, but interestingly enough, there is a bad interaction and there is intense interaction, even if it's an online. And it's a totally a new experience. And well, it's not bad at all. And when I ask students about the quality of the education itself after the online class, well, their response is pretty interesting. Some of them is far better than the offline, because in the offline, somebody said, from yesterday's session, somebody said shy people who are reluctant to say something in front of the people, they are suddenly become a brave students. I mean, they raise the question, they type in the, really, active questions in the online classroom. That is the advantage. But our task is, how do we actually maximize the interaction level of the students and provide them the maximum and effective learning experience throughout these, hardships? I mean, that's my question. So we have a friend from Japan. How are you?
Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm doing very fine, and
Very
thank you
good.
very much once again for inviting me to this very interesting
Thank
seminar.
you.
I learned a lot yesterday in the session 3.
That's
And
good thing.
you raised a very difficult question: how to
Right.
keep the participants and trainees
Right.
motivated during the
Right.
class session online. And you also pointed out, after you have been teaching for 2 years online.
Yeah, that's a mandatory
Yeah,
thing.
that's and it was very interesting to hear that there is a chemistry or special atmosphere in each e-class or e-learning session, and we have actually the same experiences. Even though our institute is still a newcomer in this field, but we had tested a variety of experiments to keep the interaction, so mutual interaction among the participants. One of the experiments is that we conduct ice-breaking session every time in each training session. For instance, we normally have a training course from 9 to 5. It's completely normal, but we thought we should give some additional tool to break the ice. If you do not know the people, so you are a bit hesitated to speak up, to speak to. That's why we thought that we needed to have a special session for ice breaking, and we do quiz or game. It's just a fun. It's not a scientific teaching, but they have just a fun and they are relaxed. So it's a very good start for all the newly recruited people from every part of the government. So I think it's one of the good tools. And in addition, for instance, our training course has, for instance, 100 people at once, and we have to break the 100 people in small groups.
That's right.
Every day we shuffle the groups. So group A, so 10 people, group B, 10 people.
Interesting.
But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we shuffle every time. So every day they can have new friends and new colleagues.
That's right.
And we have an ice-breaking session. And so by this way, they can get to know each other very fast. And in addition, we have a special session after 5 sessions. So this is not obligatory, but they organize after 5 drinking session voluntarily. And if you have more time, and if you just continue chatting on sports or on literature, on music, they can just continue chatting each other. So this is a new tool and a new open window for especially the youngsters, so that they can facilitate their social connection. So it is very successful, and each time if we complete the training courses, we give a questionnaire to all the participants to know the satisfactory level
Right,
of
right.
the teaching, and the level is quite high. So I think if we can utilize a variety of tools online, then we can keep the level of motivation very high. So according to our experiences.
Well, that means, we are at least successful in, satisfying the students at all, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that is good then. Okay. I am seeing the raised hand from Sarah. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm not able to start my video.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all okay.
I'm just waking up now in Egypt, and you won't be
All
happy
right.
to see this. Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you that the storytelling is really magical. It's really magical. You know why? Because as we explained yesterday and as we discussed yesterday, it's all the adult learning and education is all about relating ideas and getting them, giving them a meaning.
Yes.
So whenever you are telling a story from your background, from your professional experience, from your personal life, then you feel more motivated and more engaged and more, the attention span increases for all the trainees, because who from us wouldn't love to hear a story and feel the problem and see the solution and follow the sequence. So the storytelling is really magical. This is something. Another thing that I want to say, and it's not related to the interactivity, but it's related to the way the e-learning has really helped the organizations in upskilling and enhancing the capacities of their employees, is that at the NTA, we have employed something which is, you can start the program, the e-learning program, and then you allow the trainees to practice what they learned at their organizations, and then they come back to the sessions with the learned lessons and the difficulties and the challenges, and then they can discuss more with the trainer. This wouldn't be much affordable or available within the face-to-face traditional mode. Why? Because most of our trainees are coming from all over the Egyptian governorates. So it's really difficult that they come here and get an accommodation and transportation. They attend only one session and then they come back to work and attend like 3 or 4 full days, and then they come back for another day, and so on and so forth. But the e-learning made this really feasible and easy, because the channeling and the shuffling between the e-learning and the practical hands-on experience at work is really easy. You can do it on daily basis. You can even divide the day into 2 parts. Part of it, you're attending the session, and the other part you might apply at your company, at your organization, and then the next day you can come up with your feedback. So this is something that the e-learning has really added as well.
Yes, yes. Well, I heard the keynote speech from the Netflix marketing officer from this February's ATD, and she said she almost spent like 3 months in the air on the plane, travel around the all around the world. But due to the pandemic, she just got stuck in her living room. But interesting fact is, the productivity is relatively higher than before. That means exactly the Sarah you mentioned, it can save lots of things: time, money, effectiveness. But the thing is, okay, we save those kind of things, but how do we actually ensure when we deliver a training face-to-face, on-site, we, I don't know why, but we basically believe that educational effect is much more higher, because the interaction itself is much more easier when we sit down together. But well, I don't want to mention about the Bloom's taxonomy. It via online, it is easier to transfer the simple knowledge itself. Teaching A to B, well, there's a simple factor. So on and offline, it doesn't matter, because the instruction itself is pretty easy. But when we think about, like Sarah, you mentioned before, when we think about the history, when we teach the effect of the history, or more sophisticated or more in-depth discussion via online, I mean, storytelling it could be another option. It's a very, very strong tool in education. But I'm not still so sure. How do we actually guarantee the the effect of education itself through online? How do we actually know that? Well, Japan says, it says, well, when we asked the students about the satisfactory level, it was pretty high. Well, can it really represent the effect of education itself? I mean, we have tons of questions waiting here. So please don't wait and jump right in. Okay, anybody? Oh, I don't like the quiet. Oh, okay, good. Okay, because it has done. Okay, let's go ahead.
Very interesting. I just remember, I think if you in the beginning of pandemic situation, a lot of students who like applied to the Harvard University, Oxford University, and others, when they changed to the online format of their programs, and a lot of students was very angry because you remember some of the payment of all the courses, it was the same. But when you are there, for example, sitting, and this is historical places, you can sit and feel the all the things, and this is like your soft skills. And but you're just studying online without errors. You couldn't, you're studying in Harvard University or others, very high profile and good universities, but you couldn't feel this, I mean, very interesting. And but the payment, the fees of the studying the same, nothing changed. And this is interesting because the satisfaction of the students, it was not so good and high, and they not accepted this point. And I think here I think we have advantages and disadvantages of the using maybe, and this is also good. I mean, changed, and this university completely changed their approach and started to redesign the strategies, approaches, technologies, and others, and also thinkings as well. And but here we need to create and thinking about the involving students through this digital format, how we can balance between online and offline, teaching. We can use it and mixed all the things, but we need to maybe create a good monitoring system. We need to maybe think about the learning management system, each university or academies, what kind of learning system and management systems, libraries, videos, and it's productivity tools. And this is, I think, main things to know. Then they could provide mixed and format of the teaching. And
okay, thank you. I mean, Sarah, you have something to say? Go ahead, Sarah.
Yes, I have only one point that is very worth noting. It's always a trade-off. You have a trade-off between the whole sensory experience that you experience within a classroom, within a traditional classroom, and the great diversity that is provided by the e-learning environment, because the e-learning environment is a pure inclusive environment. As we mentioned yesterday, I remember that we talked yesterday about that some people would have maybe some challenges that they won't be able to attend in the traditional classroom, but they will be attending online. And at the same point, we have also experts, and we have subject matter experts and professionals coming from all over the world who will not be available for the traditional classroom, but they are available online. So the trade-off here is between losing part of the sensory processing abilities, or what we call the sensations and the experience of the traditional classroom, but at the same time, you're gaining the diversity, and the diversity will definitely add to the classroom, because from my perspective, the trainee is learning like more than 50% from the interaction with the colleagues who are sitting with him in the same e-learning room, or the traditional classroom, more than he's learning from the trainer who is standing. Because usually the trainer's role currently in nowadays training and development environment is to facilitate and to elicit and to encourage the interaction. So as if he's pulling information, and he's pulling data, and he's pulling experiences from all the trainees who are attending in the same room. So whenever you add more trainees with diverse backgrounds, with diverse nationalities, with diverse organizations, you are adding to the quality of the discussion and the quality of the topics that are covered within the training session. This is available more in the e-learning, more than the traditional classroom, because you won't be able to bring all people. You won't be able to bring our Japanese colleague here, or you won't be able to bring Professor Howard Chow to Egypt every day. You won't be able to bring Dr. Jailan and all the people who are attending today and have them all sit in a classroom for like 4 or 5 days for a traditional session. But you will have them online, and you will have them fully participative and fully accommodating and fully aware of the demands of the session, and they will be able to provide their input. So this is the trade-off here.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you. That was a really brilliant point. Yes. We have a friend from KDIS, right? Oh, he just turned off the camera. My bad. Good to see you. Any insight or ideas about the discussion topics that we are dealing here?
Well, I think as Professor Cho was sharing yesterday about making the classroom as dramatic as possible. With the research you conducted. So as much as we can make it, the online session to be more like a drama, then it encourages participation. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I have a little question to Japan. Oh, Sarah, you raised your hand again. Okay, go ahead, shoot it. Oh, Sarah? You didn't do it. I have a question to Japan. Japan, are you there? Okay, you are there. One of my problems that I have in Korea is, well, when I deliver a lecture online to a younger pupil, it's much easier because they know how to deal with the digital thing. They can easily access to the online classroom because they're doing it. But sometimes I need to deliver a lecture to a higher ranked officers, much more older people who are stubborn. I generally don't like them, but well, how do you deal with them? I mean, they're not that technology savvy. And they're not familiar with the technology itself. And online environment, they are totally new to that kind of classroom environment. And how do we actually pull out the concentration level from that stubborn people? How can we do that?
It's again a very difficult question.
I know.
Yeah, that's true. Everywhere in the world, the young people are very good at learning very fast, including IT technology and the skills, and senior staff.
Yeah, we gotta deal with it anyway.
Just resistance to new technology. But first of all, so we conduct relatively long training courses for young staff. 1 week, 2 weeks, but for executive, for director junior class, we have only 1-day course or half-day course, a few hours. That's why probably the concentration rate is not so much required. That's one thing. And as for the online courses, so you have a choice.
Yes.
Either you can have online courses at home or in the office. So
Yes.
if you are not good at IT skills, you have a choice to do it in the office. So you have a variety of stuff so that the executives who are not familiarized with IT skill can be supported by the secretaries, by the young staff. And but there were a number of senior officials, they love to utilize.
They love to do it. Okay.
They love to do it. And so I think they have a choice either at home, learning at home, or in the office. If they do not have the confidence learning online, then they can also go to the office and supported by the young staff. So that is one solution.
But what about the interaction level? I mean, they're the people who generally sit down and sit back and watch the classroom, right? And they do nothing generally. But how do they actually, react in online education?
Traditionally, that's true, but because of the pandemic, so all of us, including the senior staff, are obliged to work online, and that's why they are obliged to be somehow have familiarized with the minimum knowledge, and probably you conduct yourself learning courses. And I think, so I'm not good at IT skill, but I think it is not difficult to participate in the courses, but it is very difficult and very complex to organize a good online courses as organizer. So probably these senior staff cannot organize by themselves, courses or meetings, but they can just participate. They can drop in the online meeting.
Right. Okay, thank you. The other issue I would like to put on the table is, I call it as an equity issue because when we provide online education to a student or people outside there, not for the public officials, which they are in the office, they have a fancy infrastructure, fast online access, internet and everything. But when we think about the people outside, well, don't you guys experience any kind of access inequality problem or the problems according to the region of your country? Probably some people actually, have some trouble just simply accessing to the, online, classroom or whatever that is. It causes serious inequality problem all around the countries. I mean, it's not a small issue, but it's a big problem that we have and that we, finally realized throughout the pandemic. So any idea how to actually overcome these kind of, problems in your country? Any ideas? Okay, Maria. Okay, good. KDI. Go ahead.
Like if I'm to talk about my country, I would say that yes, online learning is creating some inequalities because of lack of resources. There are some people that even though they're in university, but they literally do not have gadgets like laptops, tablets, or smartphones. Because my country is a developing country and most people are poor.
Where are you from anyway?
I'm from Malawi, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say when COVID had just started and then they introduced the online learning, only the ones that were privileged, that come from better homes, are the ones who were affording online classes. But the rest, it meant that they had to wait for the other people to attend classes so that they can tell them what they have learned. Because even the government cannot afford to say maybe to give university students or primary students, secondary students, maybe gadgets on loan, like so that they can be paying in installments. So I look at it, it's not something very easy that can be resolved instantly when it comes to developing countries. But governments, they need to put in strategies, maybe to see how they can go about it. Because by the end of the day, I feel like if they have better strategies, then it is possible to ensure that maybe each and every student has gadgets. In case of pandemics, the students can still attend online classes. But other than that, then we also need to work on ICT and infrastructure because it's still a problem. There are some areas where the internet connectivity is very bad.
Okay, thank you very much.
You.
Thank you very much. I have a question to the Kazakhstan. I mean, like you mentioned before, your country is pretty big, right? Probably there is a pretty big unbalanced, providing the internet to the entire country. So how do you actually overcome it? But do you have any case that successfully overcome that kind of troubles?
For example, we have 16 regions here.
16
and 16, region. This is, and the population of each region also different, but we have some of the, for example, in south of Kazakhstan, this is very high population, and for example, there each family has minimum 5-6 children, and this is in south of Kazakhstan. This is we have families usually plus 2, 10, 2, 11, and this is depends on the family, but minimum this is 5, 6. And if you understand that, for example, also lack of the gadgets, smartphone, because 5, 6 children. Each family, they couldn't, maybe
I know.
also, to give this to each children, and this is smartphone. It was the big problem with the gadgets, and we have 128 universities in Kazakhstan, and also some regional universities which located in the region. They had the same problem with the, lack of the resource, infrastructure, learning management system, for example, and providing books or etc.
Yes.
And also the connection of the internet, it was also the same lack of the, and this is we have this is maybe a good connection and everything in the capital of the Kazakhstan, in some of the big cities in Kazakhstan, but in local level, I think with a lot of problems, which also different development of each region. And lack of the connection, lack of the digital culture, and some people, they don't know how they use the digital, they don't know computer. This is also big problem, because before, when I worked in the capital, I had here a lot of and I said, this is I didn't expect it that's like these problems. But when I started in 3 years, I worked in the region level. I've seen a lot of I opened for myself a new reality of the Kazakhstan. But this is reality, and but the government, and I think the problem that government doesn't want to know there's some problems like this, they just close their eyes. Everything is okay in our country and fine. We're a digital country. We are in the top, and etc. and etc. But they still have some problems with connection. But I think we have some programs now with also to development connection of internet, providing internet to some rural places and etc. But still have these problems and you know, like this.
Well, you know, Korea is a small country, you know, first of all, and very small and very fast, and much easier to handle the you know, local problems, because you know, the size of Korea is really, you know, small, and our land is, you know, pretty much flat. So infrastructure for the telecommunication itself is really good, and people are traditionally, I don't know why, but they strongly believe that education can change something. And I am one of them too. So they spend lots of investment and they pour lots of effort in make the education itself to a better status. Well, some people say probably that's the only power that Korea has. And that's the main, you know, motor that drives Korea up to this status. I believe so though. But the really interesting, you know, the problem that pops out of my head is, well, that's okay. We have an infrastructure. We have a good, you know, intentional people, and we do have a people's motivation, you know, to the education. But the problem is, okay, we have everything ready, but what about the pedagogy?
And just can I just add something?
Sure. Go ahead.
Pan Soo Kim, Professor Pan Soo Kim, if you know him, and I just have a lot of connection with the communication with this professor, and he came many times to Kazakhstan and taught our students and had lectures, and also he explained about the Korean system, how they reformed education system in the local level, rural places, and how they just integrated all the digital IT and created a good infrastructure to you know, I mean, the connectivity of the all rural place with the central level, with the all the schools and IT, I mean, universities, education places, and it was very great to know about the Korean, you know, reform system and how they changed rapidly, and then started to reform, to you know, provide some policies in each level. It was very good. I mean, impact of this, because here problem, we like providing, and we're just making some good policy. I mean, the programs and government, etc., provide, but without the basic things, without creation of the infrastructure and integrity or integrativity process with level and rural place with the center. I mean, this is main problem, I think, in our country. In the beginning, we need to, maybe like in your country, to build good infrastructure, and then to maybe reform and to provide some policy in each level. I mean, like this. Thank you. I just, this is
thank you very much. Okay, we do have many more people than the start of this program. I would like to hear some idea from Bulgaria. Are you there, Bulgaria? No, it looks like he's not there.
Okay.
Oh, he's there.
No, it's Toby. I would like to.
Okay. Go ahead.
So for sub-Saharan African countries, it's quite expensive to provide infrastructure, especially for internet services. However, I think we need to start from somewhere. First, there has to be political will, there has to be prioritization, because as you mentioned earlier, for some countries in Africa, because of COVID-19, there has been relatively loss of years, 1 or 2 years, because of COVID-19.
Yes.
For me in KDI, I could easily access internet But while there was lockdown, most schools in my country, Nigeria, could not access internet.
Yes.
So I think we have to realize the fact that the world is moving and we have to move along. So we need to prioritize correctly.
Yes.
And one of the things my country has been able to do was to create some sort of hotspots, free hotspots.
Hotspots, yes.
People could come. It could be in a village square. It could be in some strategic locations where people could come and have access to internet. So it may be expensive to have it all around, but we can start from somewhere. Yeah, thank you.
That is right. That is right. That's a good thing. I mean, in the case of Korea, it doesn't happen, in a day or two. We planned along, for a long time, and we prepare the infrastructure for the telecommunication because, I mean, we somehow figure out the speed of internet and speed of communication itself can determine lots of things. And that was like 15 years ago, this only or mid 1990s. And we're starting to prepare the information superhighway project from there. And we starting a building block one by one. And like I mentioned before, I mean, I don't think we are, fulfilling the 100% of as we were planned. But well, it's okay now. Like, you said, we got to start from somehow. I mean, just one by one little. But the really important thing is we need to take some strategic approach and integrated effort from the government side. I mean, without a doubt, that's the integral thing, I believe. Okay, so China, Mr. Jianjin, you turn on your video. That means you got things to say.
I want to share my point about your question because
very good.
China is also a big country, and maybe we have unbalanced problem in training or education because we have 31 provinces and Hong Kong, Taiwan.
Right.
So, and there will be some differences between regional education. I want to share some experience in China. The first one, I think China built a system, a cadre training system or party school system or academy of governance system from central government to local government. As I mentioned in my report, we have nearly 3,000 county level party school or academy of governance.
You said 3,000?
Yes, 3,000.
Wow. Okay.
Because we have nearly 3,000 county.
Right.
So we have nearly 3,000 party school or academy of governance. I think this is the organizational solution to solve the unbalanced problem in China. This is the first one. Second one, solution is to manage or plan from the central government. In China, the training of public personnel affairs management by organizational department of Communist Party of China. So training in cadre training is a job. Actually, is an important job. It's not just education. So every people attention most important in the training. So I think this job is important. Online education should merge into the education system. But according to my experience in our school, because in our China National Governance School, our trainee are higher official or middle official in China. And as you mentioned, it's difficult for them to use the the digital devices.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So within the 2 years, we actually use the offline training style for them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, China is a big country also, but you said there's a problem of unbalanced, approach in education and providing the service to them. But I do understand it. But the thing I'm really curious is how many, higher ranked officers you teach a year on and offline? Is the number really huge?
This number, I can tell you. And we have a system.
Yes.
The party school system in China.
Yes, that's right.
The total number is 0.1 million staff.
Okay.
And
okay.
in central government, there are just one top cadre party school, just one. And in our school, we in each semester we maybe in each semester 2,000 trainee finish the training from our school.
I got it.
They are
it's a big number.
big number. Because these people are a high level or middle level officials in China.
Okay, good. We spent almost an hour now, and so it's a good idea to have a little break, because I would like to move to the second topic that I prepared. But before we move on, let's take a little break. And there's one reminder. Mr. Park, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Oh, could you let all the participants can turn on their video?
Okay.
Is that possible?
I cannot do it, but I can talk to them to turn on the video.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Sure.
And then when you get back, I would like to see the entire population's face, through the video, because
That's
it's
a good idea, sir.
to communicate in that way. And let's take a 10-minute break. Everybody okay with that? Okay, thank you. I need some caffeine to stay awake.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
See you.
Thank you. So everybody's still here? Yes, if you are, please turn on your videos. Yes. Yeah, good to see your beautiful faces again. Okay, here's how it works. Whether you are a expert from the respective countries or whether you are a student from anywhere, if you have any insights or comments or viewpoint, just raise your hand and throw it to the table. We'll start from there, okay? Oh, Bulgaria. Oh, you are there. Where were you hiding?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody. I had some technical issues with microphone and camera, but I listened to everybody. And here in Bulgaria, the situation is not so good because we are in a half lockdown.
Oh, really?
Because we have a lot of cases of COVID-19. And the whole students are studying online. And as Miss, the lady from Kazakhstan said, in our small towns, there are a lot of family that couldn't afford to buy for their children laptops or computers because, and some of the schools lend them computers for the child and or borrow them or bought them to assure their studying and their learning. And that's the situation here.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. I know.
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. Miss Azura, it's so nice to see your face again. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice meeting you again, Paul.
Wow, you still survived there. Okay, that's very good. Very good. Okay, we've been discussing about the learning effects and the instructional technology. Whether we should focus on the adapting a new technology for the instruction, or we should more focus on the pedagogy itself. I mean, it's a balanced thing. We cannot emphasize one single thing because we should take both of them to the to the end of the education. So we've been discussing about that. Any comment or idea on this topic? If you don't, we should move on to the second topic. Okay, Kazakhstan, let's go.
Maybe this is not comment, but I have some questions. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I'd like to know how your country, your country, Korean or others, country reacting and helping to universities to solve all these problems during the pandemic time. How they are reacting. It was very interesting to know and sharing your experience how government is helped to universities, to solve a lot of problems because pandemic happens, and during 2 years, how they're providing, any help, any assistance, any policy, or etc., etc., etc. Just to maybe some cases or interesting to know. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody who will take the lead? China, you're smiling.
I think your question is a big question, and it's about the experience of fighting COVID-19, and because China in the fighting COVID-19.
But I mean, this more about the universities, education system, how they provide this help, not all the economics of
education system. You mean education system?
Well, let me take the lead on this one. In Korea, when this thing happened, the first thing we did was lock down entire university. Then we need to secure the physical health first, and then we open up entire cyber education system to everybody. Whether there's a MOOC or whether there's a cyber university, whatever that is, we open up entire classes to the people. Sometimes the public school systems rely on the universities, classes also, because people are realized, okay, this is the big pandemic, so we need to cooperate together, but we need to keep on going on educational effort. So that kind of consensus is spread around all around the country. So people start to cooperate each other, and companies provide laptop or require technological support to the university and to the public in the minimal wage or at the free cost. So that kind of social movement in Korea actually promote the solution really fast-paced. So I know, but it took us like a year and a half to reopen the university. Now they go to the school offline and they took the class all together. You're wearing a mask, of course, but well, that kind of social consensus and try to use the mass media to spread around the belief and trust among the people was a key factor. And the sad thing is, the trust level on mass media or trust level on public service from the people of Korea is not that high, but we are kept on moving on. But this pandemic era gave us a really big leap in trust to raising a trust level, because people, throughout this experience, people are starting to believe, okay, we have a trustworthy government. That means our entire social system is evolved one step higher. I mean, I'm really glad to see that. And entire university, when they require support from the public, well, they are open to it. So yeah, I know. And once again, it's an integrated effort. Okay. Anybody? I saw, the professor from KMA. Okay, welcome aboard. Could you provide any insight on this topic? Yes, please turn on your microphone first.
Oh. Actually, with the problem of our technology problem, I cannot catch this topic fully because
okay, okay,
I'm just watching this forum through our office.
Okay,
our office cannot prohibit to connect to the Zoom.
It looks
outside.
like you, yeah, it looks like you're just enjoying the tournament of the people, right?
Yeah, so that's why it takes time to solve this problem. But anyhow, I just as the instructor, so we have the lots of the online program.
Yes.
The last year, so after through the COVID-19, especially
right.
for in our institute. We have the education program for the weather forecast people. Yeah. It takes a long time. We have the 1 year program or 7 months program, but actually this year and last year, we have lots of a problem. So usually we have a problem on the on-site, but because of the COVID-19, we don't have any choice. So we have lots of online programs. So, but we have lots of a problem because every instructor has prepared the think they have the education program assumed we have the in-class program, but
right
actually through the online program we have a big problem because the educator does not prepare Actually the last year I also have a program to teach some of the program in the university, but I always have lots of problems. So we just record all of the class. Even we cannot interact the program. So actually, I cannot have any feedback from any people. So
really,
I don't trust to if my class is quality is great or bad.
I know what you mean.
That's the big problem.
Yeah.
But anyhow, in this topic, I don't have any problem. Some people has inequality to connect the internet. The Korean, the technology or internet speed is so fast that nobody has the problem. But anyhow, the big change for the instructor is that I need to prepare new things. For example,
that's a great point of view.
On class, I just can have some of the lecture. But through the internet, it's useless. I need to prepare new my presenter and how I'm just always thinking how to interact between me and the student. Because if I have only the lecture, they do not have any feedback.
Yes.
I have to call every time. I have to encourage you to join to the class. That's the big problem.
Well, was there any systematical help from the school?
Actually, they have, but
the size of their service
time problem. Actually.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Yes, we're in the same boat. Okay. Let's move on to our second topic right now. Our second topic is about the leadership. Well, the second topic, actually, I would like to tackle is that the present by Mr. Sonny Long from UK yesterday. It is one of the big changes that pandemic has brought to our workplace is the expansion of the remote work and the issue of managing them and guaranteeing the productivity. Well, it is believed that the view of leadership in the public domain is rapidly moving according to the people due to this pandemic experience. They're slowly moving. They're rapidly moving, from the control to delegation and from hierarchy to role center. Well, it's a big change. So the perspective of the leadership should change according to the change of side. So let's discuss what kind of changes these environmental transform are causing to our organization culture, and what kind of efforts should be made by the HLD people to respond to these changes. That's the second topic that I have. Well, lots of people have lots of things to say because it's a hot potato right now. Because we have an old leadership point of view everywhere, and old people very stubborn about the change. But I can feel it by myself in the office of central government. This kind of remote work and trust level, people are having totally new experience, dealing with the work, task, and reporting, and managing the things. So let's discuss whatever that is relevant to this topic. Just throw it on the table. Who will take the lead? Oh, I confronted another silence. That's okay. That's okay. Mr. Xian, could you take the lead on this one?
It's me?
Oh, yes, you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just have a try to take the lead.
Oh, hold on. We have a raised hand from the Egyptian side. Ms. Jailan?
Oh, okay.
Are you there?
Yes, dear. Hello.
Go ahead.
Of course. Good morning, everyone. Hello. It's an honor. It's my honor to attend this forum. Thank you very much
That hour is all mine. I mean, what time is it in Egypt right now?
8
a.m.
8
Wow. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
You started 1 hour and a half ago.
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
Yes, of course. Yesterday, I talked about the leadership as I attended a webinar related to women leaders aiming for further growth during COVID-19. It was fruitful. Yes. I learned a lot. I adore leadership in general.
Yeah.
How to become a transformational leader during the COVID-19. I learned about this, and I really did what I learned by creating an inspiring vision for the future and motivate my team to take an ownership for their roles and perform beyond expectations during the COVID. Buy into and deliver a vision by letting them work in parallel during the COVID. To involve more as a kind of job rotation in order to understand the other function well, to have a great backup during the COVID-19, even if our 50% work from home. To understand each and every function. This will give them the ability to be managers fan in one day, who can manage each function and be ahead or to manage or to lead more. Really, I told them, please, I need you all to work in this era and run like a black horses equally. But please measure your steps to reach your goals successfully on time, which is not an easy task at all. But actually, we are lucky here for National Training Academy. I'm working as a HR director in the National Training Academy in Egypt. Because we are working under the supervision of professional top management who share the same vision, same as our leader, as I said yesterday. We are working on ourselves to transfer all our learning, and learning is the name of the game. To come out with the leaders from our followers. We build strong trust with our people, with our team peers, by giving them the empowerment to go and grow.
Right.
This is my experience in the leadership, and I adore it.
Well, it sounds like your experience is too beautiful. I mean, is there any, hardship or trouble to make it happen?
Sure, of course, because all of them are not leaders.
Oh yeah.
From my point of view, leaders are made, are born and made, both of them. We have to work equally in all our people, in all our followers, and all our daughters and sons. But I believe it's very important to come out with leadership style, to have the force to work on them, to have the three styles: dictatorial, democratic, and laissez-faire. Set the rules first. We have to set the rules first, then share ideas and to listen and brainstorming, then give them the empowerment to go and grow, even if under our supervision. It depends on their experience. But it's very important to share with them all what we learn.
That's very good. That's very good. Okay, Sarah, you raised your hand.
Thank you, dear. Hello, Howard. I just want to, by the way, I'm a member in the National Training Academy as well, and I'm honored to work there. I'm working at the training department. Actually, I'm not, it's not under the umbrella of the human resources, but I have to salute the work that was done by the human resources department at our side. Actually, Dr. Jailan Meher and the team at the HR department, they really made our lives easier in the sense of they eliminated the stress at that time. It was very stressful. Nobody knows what will happen next. And nobody knows when we'll be back to the work once more. So they started very nice and entertaining activities like online competitions. For example, we had the best chef competition at the NTA, and everyone did his own meal at home, and we just took photos, and then we voted, and it was very nice actually. These kind of activities and this kind of flexibility is what organizations really need to adopt everywhere in order to help us pass this transitional phase. And let's hope, inshallah, fingers crossed, that this is a transitional phase and it's not gonna be longer than this, inshallah.
Right.
Another thing, back to your question regarding how do you think leaders should act during this kind of period? I think there's no one best answer for your question.
Okay, go ahead.
We are all learning here. It's a complete agile environment, and that everyone is building up his knowledge and his skill incrementally on how to react to this situation. So I don't think any organization can give one best answer to we should do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no roadmap. There's no clear roadmap, and there is no clear, I can say, what can we call it? Set of guidelines
or whatever that is.
Yes. You are just learning every day. You're just trying different things. It's trial and error. And what works for you might not work for me, because it's different cultures, different environments, different ways of accepting and reacting to change, and different capabilities and abilities as well. So it's the sky here is the limit. And I can tell you from our experience at the National Training Academy that we did great advancement, and we introduced many new programs during the COVID-19 period, and we started our e-learning platform during the COVID-19 period.
Right.
And we're working on the aligning to the asset benchmark in order to get the NTA accredited during the COVID-19 period. So the sky's the limit for any organization who wants to take the next step.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, the reason why I brought this topic on the table was this. When I observed the higher ranked officers around me, I found that they have some kind of hard time to adjust themselves to this kind of difficult era, because this is actually the first time they experienced the compulsory remote work. So their subsidiaries are not in their site, not at the same office. They are having trouble communicating. They're having trouble managing the outputs. They're having trouble advising. They're having trouble assess the outcome of their workers. So I observed lots of hardships from the higher ranked officers, because they strongly believed the power from the hierarchical structure of the organization decides everything. But times are not like that, right? We are living in the era of revolution, era of creativity, era of new trials. But when we emphasize that some kind of changes should be made from the perspective of leadership, we need some kind of new way of managing things in this time of era. So could anybody brought some insights or issues, whatever that is on the table? My dear students, Ms. Azura, yeah, draw me something.
Well, basically, I agree with Sarah, but I think to be a leader, one of the character is to be can adapt to the whatever environment he or she is. Adaptability is very important.
Hold on, Ms. Azura. Well, yeah. Somehow, your audio is not that clear that I cannot understand what you're saying. So please do something about that. I'm seeing the raised hand from Charity Adi from Sungkyunkwan University, right? Did I pronounce it right? Okay.
Yes, Professor.
Whatever that is.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. From my perspective, due to the COVID pandemic time, there was this system based on the leadership agreement and other management procedures. They build up on the culture practices, even though we have training programs that the service ran, they came out with other activities for training for staff. That staff can go for workshop online continuously, which it was group based on levels and classes. So in that period, even as at now, even though I'm in Korea, in Ghana, that training procedures are still ongoing so that they can engage staff more in other training or activities based on administrative procedures and processes to build up their capacity and their goals, to base it on the goals of the organization, their visions, and the core values for the productivity of the civil service. I'm under the civil service. So that was another strategy that they came out with for training workshops for staff, service-wide.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, are you a student at Sungkyunkwan University?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you for your insights. Okay.
Welcome.
Sarah?
Yes, Howard. I just wanted to say that it's only about the leader inspiring a different mindset. Can I put it this way?
Yeah,
it's not putting a set of guidelines, but just trying to inspire the others to adopt a certain mindset during the period of the crisis. For example, we all go thinking about SWOT, strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. So it's a period that you have to think about the opportunities and think about the threats as well, but try to highlight the opportunities more and adopt the mindset of getting directed towards the opportunities. Also putting or observing what other institutions are doing, and not with the mindset of copying, because you can never copy, but still you can adapt. And you can, it might inspire you to do it in a different way. So in this case, it's not about putting guidelines or putting steps, more than inspiring a mindset in all the subordinates and in all the employees who are working within the organization.
Right, thank you very much. I mean, well, let's think about this. We are all in the domain of human resource development somehow. From the perspective, from the job perspective, and the vision of the HR leaders' point of view, what should we actually do? Make the this kind of shift much more easier for them. I mean, the leaders. I mean, what kind of things we could do to help them to shift themselves to the change? Could anybody give us some comment? Oh, Kazakhstan. Okay, I saw you raised hand. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
I think very interesting session about the universities leadership. I think here, for example, I was the vice president of the university in south of Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
And during this pandemic time, in the beginning, we just it was shocked for us how in the beginning with this, it was for everyone, we couldn't understand the situation.
Oh yeah.
How is the time, how this will be long, because we didn't expect it that it will be during 2 years. It was for us, or maybe 1 month or 2 months or etc. This is like for short term, but we we started to discuss about the map of problems, which interesting to know the insights, factors, and problems of the university, how we're facing this situation, how our students and teachers, academic staffs understanding, and how they could provide the quality and the same quality which we had before. And it was, and also we could we see how our university is not so flexible, and all the tools which we we used before, and this is human resource policy, selection process. This is not so maybe easy to do in during pandemic situation. And we can see how the all indicators which we had in our strategy also maybe totally is not, you know, actual for this period. We started to redesign our strategy and thinking about the map of problems and then how we can solve. But the advantages of this situation that for us, I think this is it was the window to the world, because we could invite any top level, trainer by the Zoom, by the, online. It was opportunities for us to connect with very high profile people, also it was, but I think, and with redesign our KPI system, strategy of the university, also the cadre policy, because how
you changed your KPI system according to the changes, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We started to, because we this is understanding how we can face it and how we can solve and work very good during this time and after as well. But this is like creating a new environment, but it was very difficult because the people, you couldn't change like this, 1 minute, 1 year, 1 month. Their understanding and mindset of the people and academic staff, and also the big problem, this is flexibility of university, how we can quickly, fast reacting for the universities and for this situation. And also the opportunities to maybe build data-driven university and how we can, manage data, how we can use it. And this is a new thing. And also this is a new cadre, which we need necessary to involve to the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I cannot imagine, the hardship you went through and your troubles you could, possibly confront it. I mean, I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I saw a raised hand from the Mr. I'm sorry about this. Azerbaijan, right? I hope I pronounced your name right. Please turn on your microphone and, provide us that idea. Thank you.
Good morning for somebody, good afternoon, and good evening maybe.
It's a small word.
I welcome you from the Azerbaijan, the capital of the Baku.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I in late had chance to join to your very important meeting, because the human capacity building in specific situation when we have the COVID-19 everywhere is give us a new experience in not only in the university teaching, but also in service training for civil servants, which is main goal of the academy, our academy, the Academy of Public Administration under the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. I have say that in inline education have some advantages, because high level officials, it's not so easy to invite on offline meetings, collecting in one place. It's it's save the time, it save the energy for transportation, it's influence on climate change, and it gives us chance in short time to have connection with different persons, different levels persons, including ministers level of chief of administrations in different places. Azerbaijan achieved some new results in the formation of the inclusive society. in sustainable development and inclusive society, information in society, which is important now in post-COVID period also. According to the international institutions assessment, Azerbaijan, the inclusive development index of Azerbaijan is 4.69, which is and give Azerbaijan to be on the rank. Azerbaijan is 25th in the world.
Oh, okay.
You take account that the economic potential of Azerbaijan, 82nd in the world, with the 86th point to have the 25th place in the world, it means that it's good administration, good management of resources. You know, how to achieve? It's achieved due to implementation of the new technologies in public administration, not the new technologies of public administration, not new technologies in public administration.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different things. But it's from scientific point, it's new technologies in public administration. It's synergetic, complementary, and compensational technologies. Last time is complementary also. There is only one difference, but it gives chance to achieve such kind of results. We published the first in the world book on inclusive development management. It was 2 years ago, and it's first in the world book. And now we are working on the project related with new technologies of public administration, which is very important because it's provide successes in regular time and in extremely time as the pandemic or something else. Thank you for.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Since the our time is limited, let's briefly go over the outcomes of our our discussion so far. We have touched the emphasis between the pedagogy and instructional technology that suddenly came into the educational cycle due to the pandemic. I mean, there could be virtual reality, fancy technology, or multi-bus, or whatever that is. We adopted bravely, like new technologies into our education system to make them better. But my question was, okay, all of those fancy technologies actually help the pedagogical goal to achieve. I mean, we heard many point of view from the many participants. I mean, that was really good. And our repertoire is writing down the entire script right now, so we can share the result of a discussion after this session. And the second question that I had was, we are experiencing rapid change in the leaders' perspectives. But I would like to hear about the certain countries' situation. The higher ranked officers are experiencing some kind of hardships to adjust themselves to the change. If that is, I mean, if they are, is there any help system as a HLD developer for them to make them adjust themselves much easier? I mean, that was my question, but I think I haven't heard any actual cases for this one. So let me ask this question to the Japan. I mean, Japan, are you still there, or you left for lunch? I think she left for lunch. All right. I'll throw this microphone to Mr. Mexico. Ever Omar?
Thanks. A really interesting question.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have the problem that the people that has the propose to develop a learning process don't have all the flexibility to the change.
Yes.
And it starts with the pedagogical develop of new concepts in the building of the knowledge that we need to share in this, for example, metaverse ways, or as yesterday or as today in the Zoom, because the objectives of a course I think need to be redesigned or almost review to check if we have all the competences to be a good way to get the purposes that we as institutions to learning have. And in this aspect, we until now don't have, or in Mexico, all the strategies to try to quickly adapt to these new conditions. And it starts with the pandemic 2 years ago, but until now, 2 years before, we are facing big challenges.
Well, you know, this kind of leadership perspective shift is not easy to, you know, every nation. But, you know, if I speak about the case in Korea, Korean's public society is strongly tied to the hierarchical structure. So hierarchy means that the, you know, the circle of the influence is getting larger and larger as you go up to the rank. But people are, you know, strongly talk about the innovation these days and organizational creativity all the time. But those, you know, solid hierarchy-based, you know, management and the organization creativity and the innovation, they are the concept that collide each other all the time. But the interesting thing is that hierarchy-based leadership is generally originated from the you know, industrial era, early 1900. To run the factory, they made that kind of hierarchy structure. To run the you know, small side or mid-sized factories, they make that kind of hierarchy structure, but because that was much easier to control the, you know, productivity at that time. But now we are not working in the factory. We have a, you know, much more complex and multidimensional decision-making process, work process. But while we're maintaining that kind of, you know, hierarchy-based, you know, leadership structure, can we talk about the, you know, innovation in a real sense? I don't think so. So we need to make some kind of changes. But, you know, as an HRD people, we need to take the lead to make the change in the concept of leaders, to adjust themselves to the new wave of change. But what kind of efforts should we make to make that happen? That was my question. But, you know, as the time is limited, I mean, I will take the, you know, insight from only 2 people. Who will take the lead on this one? Students, you are welcome to dive in. I know, it's on the hard topic. I know. Ms. Janjin, can you throw some, you know, insight on the table for us?
As for high official transformation?
Yes, I mean, you know, Mr. Janjin, you look much more tired than, you know, 2 hours before.
And I just want to share a point of view about your idea on hierarchy transformation.
Yes.
As I know, because of the online conference or online work model, a lot of officials in China are familiar with the digital thing.
Yeah.
So I think there is a big change in leadership on the digital area.
Yeah.
The most one is the leadership style will change from hierarchy style to network style or the collaboration style.
That is right.
Last year, I have been 1 year vice mayor in the Zhejiang province.
Okay.
And as a local official, as you know, Zhejiang is the most advanced digital province in China.
Yes, yes.
And according to my experience, and the officials are familiar with the digital thing in the COVID-19 year. So, and we often assign job through digital app and digital system. So I think the topic of changes in leadership will be the hierarchical model transformation to networks.
I mean, in my impression, China is more like, much more hierarchical than, any other country.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm curious about your country's situation. Okay, let's wrap it up the session. Today, we had a productive 2 hours of discussion on 2 topics. The first one was pedagogy and instructional technology, and the second one, leadership shift due to the pandemic era. So I hope, I know we had a pretty productive session this year also. Like I said before, the repertoire will, reorganize the content of the discussion and distribute it to you later. If you have any comment or any idea or any insight you want to share, just throw on the discussion board. We'll take care of it, later on. Okay. So, how was the impression? What is the impression that you have in Kazakhstan on this, forum so far? I see a smile face, so it's okay, right? Say something, please.
Yes, Professor. May I say something?
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Agnes Kempua, a student from SKKU.
Okay, so you're from?
I'm from Kenya.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so far so good, and I want to appreciate for inviting us students for this noble Leaders Forum. We have learned a lot, especially for this session. I can contribute on controlling and empowering. I'm a civil servant working under the Ministry of Interior. And I want to say that this is the time that leaders don't need to control their staff, rather they need to empower them. They need to train them, because even if they're, for example, at the lower cadre, these people have experience, these people can give their inputs and can really contribute.
Yes.
Departmental heads. I want also to mention something about COVID-19 in our country, Kenya. During the pandemic, actually, I want to say that the country was like all the university, all the institutions were locked down in the year 2021.
Yes.
But gradually, the government opened up the online training, but only for university students. But for secondary, primary students, it was not easy. Even for the secondary student, even for the colleges and university students, it was not still easy for them, because most of them come from low background where electricity is not there.
Right.
Infrastructures are not, they cannot get infrastructures like, for example, computers and all that. So as one of the developing countries, we still have a long way to go when it comes to information technology. Also, like, for example, in my country, I can say 75% of the country, only 25% are yet to be connected in terms of electricity, leave alone the issue of network.
Right.
So we have a long way to go as African countries, European countries. So it was not easy, because even if the country opened the issue of education for university and colleges.
Yes.
But for those students who came from background or places are not connected, it was not easy for them to actually connect.
I can easily imagine that.
Learning, So I've really enjoyed that as a student, and this is a very important forum for us that we can share, because we are still working as public servants. We are learning a lot from our colleagues. We are learning a lot from our fellow students. So we really appreciate. And
that's very good. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. I mean, I have a question on Sungkyunkwan University. Did they open the classroom again?
Not yet.
Gather around to take the class? Not yet.
No, we are still doing online, but all of us were in Korea.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Aluwatobi, right. You have something to say? Okay, go on.
Thank you, Professor. You can just call me Toby.
Oh, okay, Toby. Good.
Yes, thank you. I want to share briefly about my own personal experience, then also make reference to some of the things I learned in the workshop yesterday.
Okay.
So before I came to KDI to study, I was working outside my country, and then COVID-19 hit. And it was extremely tough for me because everybody had to stay at home. And then as an engineer, I'm used to going to the field to work, to meet people and the likes. And then so it was so strange for me and very difficult to manage. Also, I couldn't meet people around whom I consider my immediate family because I wasn't in my country. So psychologically, it was very, very tough. Very, very tough. At the time, I felt so frustrated. I just wanted to leave the country by all means. So that's taken to what I learned yesterday. And it's the fact that teleworking was actually coming. The pandemic only helped to accelerate it. So, so Professor, Mr. Sonny Leon was sharing yesterday about how to deal with the situation. And then he highlighted his points on that 3 keywords, which is embrace, empower, engage, and encourage.
That was impressive, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and to embrace, he said managers, especially line managers, need to be more dynamic to change. And that in being dynamic, they need to understand that the workplace is changing, and then they need to change also the modalities and their approach to work. As one of the participants said earlier, you cannot be so controlling as you used to be. You need to be more liberal. And also in being liberal, it goes to empowerment. You need to provide an enabling environment for your colleagues. And that includes providing the resources they need in terms of computers, maybe software and other gadgets they may need to help facilitate their work. So the first thing is, as I said, you must be willing to embrace it because the change has come. So if you would thrive within this period, you need to embrace this change, then also create enabling environment for the staff. Also, you mentioned that in terms of empowerment, this period has also been able to help those who were physically challenged or female workers who had challenges with giving care at home. It helped them to be able to manage their time even better. They could get the work done at any time. It doesn't matter. It's just to get the work done. So, and moving to engage, he mentioned that we need to line managers need to actively participate even in the use of technology alongside their new generation colleagues. And one of the things I missed while I was working outside my country, as I said, was that interaction, physical interaction, which got me, if I may use the word, so mad that I wanted to leave the country. And he mentioned that even via online interactions, we could try as much as possible to simulate an office environment, create time where we could just have casual talks, where anybody could just have, we could just have coffee, simulating the work environment as much as possible. And that will help get along. And lastly, he talks about support for the employee, because there is less interaction and there is a lot of psychological challenges as a result. So managers should not add to the challenges their colleagues are already suffering, but rather they should trust, they need to trust their colleagues. They need to understand that they can get the job done even without being in the office. Being in the office does not guarantee efficiency. And one of the ways to ensure that people get the work done and they are productive is to ensure that there is clear communication.
Wow.
Once there is clear communication and you have trust, then you'll be able to get the job done as much as possible. So I hope this helps some of those who were into the meeting.
Toby, you know what? Toby, I got to tell you this. I was really, impressed by the presentation by Mr. Sunny, yesterday. And now I'm impressed again by your insight that is translated into your, brain. And now it looks like you understand everything. And I really appreciate your, effort and, broad mind to take it into your heart. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm really happy now. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on to the, Cynthia. Is that your name?
Thank you very much, Professor. I'm Cynthia from Cameroon, a student in the KDI.
Okay.
I'm grateful for the opportunity given me to attend this forum. And in my personal case, I think even though the COVID-19 pandemic was like a problem to the world, but in where I work, we considered it like a blessing, because the fact that our leaders, our bosses had to hijack work and work on their own. But with the advent of the COVID-19, they had to disperse work and make us things they were not used to, the new technology, which they had to, they have been trying to put in place, but they have been adamant to the change. But because of the COVID-19, technology improved, and the younger ones had the opportunity to express themselves, because since they were the ones more, like, what do I say? Adverse with the technological systems, they were the ones to work, and performance really improved in some sectors, because the elder ones who used to stick to the archaic way of doing things gave way to the younger ones to express themselves. I really think that, but there was this one thing we lost, like Toby said, was the networking between workers. And I think for the school milieu as well, schooling does not just mean learning what they teach in school. The fact that you can network between classmates and friends and collaborate with them.
Yes.
The online thing has led to the loss of that part, which is a little bit difficult, because like they say, all work without play makes Jack a dull boy. But with online, it's just schooling and very little of other curriculum activities.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. I mean, you guys, when I look into your, younger people and their insight, like you guys, I feel, a lot better than I, deal with the seniors. I'm sorry, but okay, let's move this microphone to the Thomas. Is that your name?
Yes.
Okay, let's go on.
Good afternoon, Professor, and the other participants. My name is Thomas, and I'm from Kenya. I'm a student at KDI University Sejong. Just to say that I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity that you guys have given us to attend this forum and the insights that we've received. I will wish to say that post-COVID eras taught us a lot of things, and more so to point out that profit to purpose. Most organizations have realized that it's not only profit that defines organization, but really the direction that the organization should take in terms of how positively affecting people's life. Because during COVID, most things went dark. So the idea of a profit should come maybe in second or third place. And that's quite a good thing to ensure that our organization exists to improve people's lives and also impact positively. Then something to note is also COVID has taught us to be more of transformational leadership, foster innovations, because then again, if we look, when COVID was not there, we used to sort of have a comfort zone of doing things in the traditional way. But there is this generations, there is this sect of generation that people will say the millennials. These people who want to have to do their own things. Even when you employ them, they want to come to work at their own time. They want to be left to do whatever they want. And COVID has taught us that we really need to wake up and allow these young guys to express themselves. Only that they should do it within the confines of, I mean, some little control, because the idea of going to work, office space has really been replaced by the internet and Zoom meetings and such things. So we need leaders who encourage technology, because it's the fourth industrial revolution. And the earlier we do it, the better. It will save us the hassle of dealing with it maybe in the later years. So those are the things that I've picked, and COVID it happens to be a blessing, because it has given opportunity to the young guys. If you look at organization, young guys are the most techie guys. So sometimes bosses will deny us opportunities to sit in meetings, but nowadays we know what they discuss, and we know what happens behind the scenes. So it's good. It has been a good thing to come. So thank you.
Thank you very much for the insight. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. We have a Lee Sego. Is that right? Lee Sego from KDI. Hello. Yes, I'm pointing at you.
Hi, Professor. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, go ahead, please.
I think I just wanted to respond to your question regarding what do we do in regards to leaders and how they ought to respond during this time.
Oh, okay.
I think as HRD practitioners, it's important to still create a platform for intergenerational conversations.
Wow, okay.
In allowing for leaders to actually fail forward. I think, and as much as we're talking about the positive experiences of COVID and what it's done to allow for younger peers to be more aggressive or accomplish a great deal or have more efficiency within the flexibility and the future of work, I think it's important to still create room for senior leaders to make mistakes and to learn during this time. Just as when we experiences with work, we were learning, we were failing, and leaders created the room for us to learn and work. So I think HRD should manage that intergenerational conversation moving forward. Secondly, I think it's also important to create an environment where adopting to technology does not undermine competency. So just because someone senior is not able to use Zoom, it does not mean they're any less competent. And so I think it's important to contextualize how we address technology use moving forward. It does not necessarily mean people are any less qualified to do their jobs. So I think just managing the fears within people, because they are valid. People are afraid that simply not being able to use Microsoft Office is places me at jeopardy of losing my job. I think it's fair for people to feel that way. And so I think HR has a great responsibility to manage those fears and also create an environment or an even platform for dialogue around the issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent point of view. Wow. I'm surprised by the students in the KDI. What did they do to you? Wow, that's great. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. Kazakhstan, you have a last comment. Okay, go on.
I just 1 minute, so quickly. I thank you very much again to you, to moderator, for this great moderation and very hot topics. And really, I think this time we just redesigned everything. We just started a new area of the thinking, understanding, and changing and redesigning education strategy and etc. But and also very interesting that we're just maybe change our culture as well, because as you know, and this is Asian culture, more like families, and you know, and this is pandemic situation also change our network and our communication with the family, and completely we stayed at home without any communication. I think this is tough also. And I think this is, but at the same time, we change our civil service system and policy. If before we had a more professional civil service system, and then we changed to the strategic civil service. Now we're just in the way of innovation civil service, and I mean innovative way to change all the civil service and policy. I think this is also great to all of us to change all the policy in the high level, in the government level, and also in the local, in the others levels as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, thank you for your participation. I really appreciate your passion to put on your ideas on the table. This will be a great asset for everyone, because like I mentioned before, we are the friends who could rely on each other in this hard time and collaborate each other to, to make things better. I mean, all the ideas you throw on the table today will serve as a, an asset for the better future. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much for your passion, and hope, your health and good luck. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
At the training session. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you, Professor Cho.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you later.